What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Who Is Raphael Leraux, your resident rapping VTuber here. And before we get started, I was in the middle of getting ready to record my next Nightmare Time reaction while celebrating Black Fae Day when this whole thing broke. So you're gonna be sitting here in the forest with me and my new wood nymph model while I rant for a little bit. Hope it's not too distracting. So, you've probably already seen and heard about the situation that's currently going on with Watcher and their catastrophic new business move. Now, I am in no way, shape, or form a drama channel, and I have no intention of ever becoming one. But this situation hit close to home for me as a fan. So I wanted to speak on it a bit because I've seen a lot of videos and takes on the situation coming from people who just found out about the channel because of the drama. No shade to Moist Critical because his video was phenomenal, and I highly recommend it because he goes into the financial side in a way that I genuinely just couldn't. Now, if you're not familiar, Watcher is a channel that started in early 2020 by three of BuzzFeed's most popular creators. That would be Steven Lim, one half of the show Worth It, and Ryan Bergara and Shane Madej from the incredibly popular BuzzFeed Unsolved series. So why am I talking about this? Well, I have a fairly personal attachment to Watcher and Shane and Ryan's content in particular. In late December 2019, I came down with what we now know was the coronavirus. It absolutely destroyed my lungs, which still affects me to this day, which is why you may hear me breathing hard in some videos while talking despite my best efforts to edit the breaths out when I can. It's also the reason why I tend to speak much slower during my reaction videos, just in an attempt to stop myself from running out of breath. While I was lying in bed unable to move, I leave my phone playing videos, and that's when I came across a BuzzFeed Unsolved playlist that had every episode Shane and Ryan had made in it, as well as the after shows and even the hot dogga. If you know, you know. So for about 2 weeks straight, the only thing that I heard was them. As soon as I recovered and got home, the first thing that I saw when I opened up YouTube was the announcement that Shane, Ryan, and Steven had started Watcher. So I was automatically on board as a supporter. Fast forward a few years, my daughter and I regularly watch Puppet History together, as well as Shane's old BuzzFeed series Ruining History. There's actually a pretty dope playlist that has every episode of both shows in chronological order. Now, I've pretty much watched everything that Watcher has put out, and I've genuinely enjoyed at least 90% of their content, including the stuff that seemed to flop or just never quite take off. Now, I say all of that to say I, like many other fans, am disappointed. A few days ago, they decided to put up some cryptic posts hinting at a big project announcement. Now, that was mistake number one. They generated so much anticipation and curiosity within their fan base. There was speculation of another season of Puppet History, people theorizing on possible new shows, people wondering if they were going to be giving previous attempts another shot. But instead, we got a farewell video that doubled as an announcement for a subscription service. Now, some people may not see why this was such a big issue to fans, and I completely understand that. Without context or from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Notably, one of my other favorite creators, Scott Nicewander, actually posted on Threads saying that he doesn't know what Watcher is, but he is aware of the need of funding that creators face. Thankfully, I don't think anybody took that in a negative way, and we protect Scott at all costs over here. But the real issue with Watcher starting the subscription-based model comes in when you take into account the fact that they already have a very successful Patreon, as well as running a truly staggering amount of ads in all of their long-form videos. Moist Critical goes into this a lot deeper in his video, and it is fascinating to see his perspective from somebody who actually has skin in the game when it comes to pairing advertisers with creators. And their videos are constantly filled with comments from fans saying things to the effect of, feel free to advertise because we know that it supports you. And if you guys started a Patreon, we would join it. They simply just don't advertise their Patreon that much, despite their own fans urging them to do so because they want to support the content. And just on an aside, Do you realize how wild it is that a community actively asks to be advertised to solely because they know that it supports the content? Like, watch your fans genuinely go hard for these creators. The other big issue was the approach, which left a lot of people blaming Steven Lim himself. As of January of this year, Ryan and Shane stepped down from their roles in order to focus on the creative side of things, leaving Steven Lim as the sole CEO of Watcher. Now, this is no shade towards anybody because none of us really know what things are like within the company. But there had already been rumblings within the comment sections with fans feeling some type of way about Steven's personality on camera and his perceived smugness on social media. So it's no surprise that Steven's post after the announcement absolutely rubbed people the wrong way. Specifically when he said, "For those who want to continue watching," which people took as a slap in the face towards the fans and supporters who genuinely just can't afford another subscription service. This, along with his "we chose $6 a month so everyone can afford it" comment, striking people as very out of touch and inauthentic, actually swayed some people away from supporting the decision to start a subscription service when they were originally on board with it. Naturally, there have been calls for Steven to step down as CEO because of this whole debacle. But the funny thing is, Watcher fans, for the most part, aren't even mad still. They aren't bashing the company. Granted, they are absolutely dragging Steven because of his aforementioned comments and posts, as well as the timing of the announcement of the paid subscription service happening conveniently after Steven announced wanting to bring a Worth It-like show back, which Worth It, if you didn't know, was basically a show about going to extremely expensive restaurants. Now, the vast majority of negative comments have come in the form of disappointment. People feeling hurt or like their support had fallen on deaf ears all these years. A lot of the people have also expressed shock because this move legitimately feels like the exact opposite of what Shane in particular has seemed to stand for throughout the years. Now, I personally feel like putting everything on Steven Lim is a bit of a cop-out. Ryan and Shane made the decision to put Steven in the position as sole CEO, and they still went along with the decision to leave YouTube and start a paywall subscription service, even if it did look like they were pretty unhappy during their own announcement video of it. Now, fans are legitimately telling them that they have a chance to walk this whole thing back and be forgiven. But as of the time of recording this, they have remained silent on all platforms. Hell, even the lawless hellscape that is Facebook has fans willing to forgive them if they just reverse the decision. Now, I don't know what the future has in store for Watcher, but I do know that this move will go down as one of the biggest bag fumbles in all of YouTube history. Honestly, that's everything I had to say on this topic. I just kind of wanted to explain it a little more from a fan's perspective, but I am fully open to hearing all of y'all's opinions on this whole move. Do you think that Watcher can recover from this? Thank y'all for listening to me rant for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and actually start working on my actual content now. But I hope y'all have a wonderful evening.
Part of my rhetoric when I see it better get better than anybody ever did. You get in there, cause I ain't even gonna be tripping there, and I ain't even gonna be sipping there. Homie, get back when I be spitting there, when I be kicking there. Within my city, yeah, you tryna kick it down. Never dead there, homie said bad there. Homie wanna get it to the quickest side. Going hard in the bitch, market the shit. Big award in the clip, arts in the spit. When I judge the pounds on the shit, rapping the whip, popping the lips, stopping the sick kids, running to the mouth like they jogging the shit. Finna attack the black dogs in the bitch, hot, yeah. We the boss in the place, to the city fell off, then they lie to your face like.